Hi guys, it's Jamie here and we're going to do part 2 of the ideas for journaling in 2022, particularly if you don't have a busy life and lots of interesting things going on. Where I damaged the book in part 1 and ended up having to glue a lot of pages together to create some stability back, this is rock hard. It's like a piece of cardboard in the middle of the book. It is a little bit redundant as a page. This will be the start of January. Therefore, what we're going to do is simply decorate it. I've got a few stickers here from the supply, something I've cut from a magazine, a bit of interesting paper, but I've also got this big box of scrap papers. We have things like this and literally cut-offs from other projects. I'll probably do a lot of ripping and tearing. Let's get something down. Bit of a map. And travel has always been a big feature of my life. Obviously the last 2 years have put a bit of a halt to that. I would love to think, even though I didn't write it as a goal, that travel might be back on the agenda, at least a short break, in the up and coming year. I don't really like the way I've torn that. I kind of would like that. I'm going to put that up there and put something maybe down here. There's no artistic reason for that. It's just covering the page as quickly as possible. I just thought I'd explain that. In case you think there's always an artistic design reason behind something. Nice. Not sure I wanted all that brown covering up. You see, this is why my scrap box never gets lower, because I end up putting all these bits into it. In future, my decision is, if I want to do artistic stuff with watercolour or anything that's going to involve water, I will do it on a page that's going to be glued into the journal rather than on the journal page. That way I might actually get to keep the book and not have it fall apart on me. I'll run that along there. I don't mind it going over because I will trim it in a minute. Tiniest of scrappy bits there. Okay, a little bit of a gap there. It's beginning to dry off. The other thing I do need to do is take some pages out. I'm going to glue that one to that one, and I'm going to glue this one to this one. Then I just want a piece of tape, pop it down the centre. I'm going to try and cut it slightly short of the page so I don't have to keep going in and trimming up pages. Lift it up slightly and just cut it short of the page end, only by a little bit. And then get that to sit right in the seam. I'm hoping everything's going to stick down nicely. Okay, how are we doing? To help things pop on this page, the other thing I'm going to do is take the tiniest bit of white gesso and with the tiniest amount just dry brush over this background. It's really not much. Ephemera wise, I have all sorts. I did have a cuckoo clock somewhere in here, didn't I? Oh, there we go. I've got a stamp, a ticket. Like I say, these are just things that were lying around. These bits, I'm not sure if I do really want to use those. They're not going to go. I do have this. Where is my circle? Aha, I have a circle with January 1st. I'll put that here. And then we're just going to build a little bit of a collage-y thing up. This is coffee stained. And I wanted this one to come down a bit. I had this homemade stamp. We have these interesting ladies. Oh, and I've got a flower actually that I didn't know I had. Normally I'd stabilo her, but she's onto a sticker, so I don't think that would work. I'm just wondering if a gel pen might work. May not work that well because it's going on to glued areas and all sorts. She stands out a little bit in comparison to everything else. I'm okay with that collage. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's got something on that page, so it's decorated. This is more the page I'm concerned about. I thought it might be fun, because I don't have much going on a daily, to do some more tarot type things, but not only do my own tarot draws, but also just get some YouTube tarot readers. I'm going to pick one and go with their tarot for that month. For January 2022, I'm going to go to Taurus, because that's my star sign, Baba Jolie, general messages. And then I thought at the end of the month, we can see how many did or didn't apply to me. To be able to do that and have relevant decoration, I think you need to listen to the months. Monthly one's quite long, so I'm thinking you're going to have 2, 3, 4 sides to write. Decorate those pages with the general themes, and then come in and write the highlights or the summary of what's been said. Hey guys, sorry for the delays, but I have been doing paid work solidly. These notes were what I made from the Baba Jolie Taurus Tarot. You can always go check it out on YouTube yourself. On that, I've put that down to some main headings. There do seem a lot there, but of these words, the biggest ones are Empress, Let It Go, Passion and Creativity, and the others are more within those titles. Having watched Meg Journal's collaging video earlier for her junk journal January day 1, and I liked when she did clusters for actual journal pages. She took some plain paper and then some patterned, all within the same sort of colourways, and then a focal point. And she just tore bits up and clustered them. I'm hoping that the black and white ladies will look okay against those brown backgrounds. When people say hold on to your scraps, I don't think they realise how many scraps I get. Right. So we've got some bits and pieces here, that's cool. I'm going to just make some collages. I'm going to tear a few bits up. What did she do? She did like a bit of text. Now I know she tested layouts before she did them. However, with so many to do, I'm possibly not going to do that. I know she was busy tearing all her edges. I'm not worried about every single edge that I use being torn up. I think the idea is just add bits and pieces until you've got a base. Even these words have got interesting printed bits of paper. But what I was going to try was see if one of these works with it. Don't know if they work because they're black. Might look for another. I'll have a look at these see-through ones. So I've got a feeling they're going to be too see-through. They're not really a highlight, they're more a background piece again, aren't they? I found these stickers, I think these work better. So, because they add a pop of colour as well. So for example, if you were to do something like that, that looks quite nice, even with the white edging, which I normally dislike. Sorry about that noise, that's a bracelet. I will take it off before the next video because I realise that could be very irritating. That's one done. Let's try another one then. not really putting any great thought into this, and I quite liked using that, to be honest. It's quite a nice little touch. Then we had the see-through stickers. I just want to grab, and we have a clock. That's okay, but it's not super exciting. I might end up using a bit more like that. I'm quite liking these. I will continue. I will make several. Back to the old chunky journal, and we've got all these clusters done, quite a few actually. I'm probably going to end up going over 4 pages, but there you go. What I'm looking for is the key messages to go on page 1, one of which was the Empress card, which came up 3 times. Empress is kind of a nurturer, a grower, that type of thing. So the Empress energy is something that I should be cultivating in January 2022. My plan is to do some daily journaling more or less as soon as I wake up, so you get that train of unconscious thought, or before the day's stresses start, you write first. I will probably not fill in my notes for this tonight, but I will probably do that tomorrow morning, which I know will be the 2nd, so that I'm bringing my interpretation to the main messages for January 2022. Passion was definitely on there. My key word for the month is passion, to do things with passion, which is really weird because 2021, and she did mention this, has been a really, really flat year for me and quite a struggle. And I don't normally mentally and emotionally struggle. I quite like the idea of passion. And the other thing was actually balance, which was going to be my word of the year anyway, because I felt like last year I got very out of whack, totally hermit-like, focusing on work and goals and not much else. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just creating some prettiness on the page that has the keywords, and then I will write my thoughts around these keywords. They do look quite pretty, don't they? I think. Better than a blank page and just a load of writing anyway. Let It Go was a big one. Some and creativity. A block that's making me feel stuck, a stuck energy, which I know what that is. Creativity was just another thing that I'm going to apparently feel very inspired in January. Creativity doesn't just necessarily mean artistically, it might be finding alternative solutions. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to paint, although my son did get me some canvases for Christmas. Let It Go was another big one, so I'm going to put that next. So these were the big key ones. If you think I'm a bit weird, I've never ever been spiritual in my whole life. This is all a result of my daughter phoning me at 1 in the morning to tell me I really needed to get a mole checked, and I actually did go and get it checked, which is unheard of for me, and it was cancerous. And she's the one who's big on this intuition, spiritual messages thing. And that kind of moved me a little bit into looking into it a bit more. I'm still a very pragmatic person. But to me, a lot of the things that are said are the same as any personal development or self-growth course. It's just wrapped up in a bit of card reading or astrology, but it's the same fundamental thing. Well, I wonder if I should have balance next. Yeah, balance is important to me. Sometimes you just have too many things on and you cannot necessarily have the so-called perfect balance between work and home life, etc. So one thing that was suggested, and it's quite a good idea, and I don't know why I didn't think of it myself, is to find out what's important to you and create the balance that gives priority to what's important to you, which I'd never really thought of it that way. I mean, obviously money and paying bills is always important, but I hadn't really thought about how about just setting my goals and intentions around what is actually important to me rather than what I feel I should do. Major change. Well, I've got major change and radical change. That's two change ones, isn't it? Let it go. You could put flow on there as well. Okay, going over. Tower, major change, radical change. They all go together. And then we have good news, new start, plan. Okay, so that is 5 pages, which hopefully will summarise the predictions. It's just one idea. You don't have to do this one. I'm going to come up with lots of different ideas that you can use in your journals or not, depending on how you feel about these things. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It does help other people see it. Let me know what you think of this idea in the comments below, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I load up between 3 and 5 videos a week, sometimes more, and I will see you next time.